What is up, guys? Happy Thursday. It's our weekly live cooking show, and all week we've been talking about healthy snacks. So you saw some incredible options that everyone commented on my post on Monday, I think. And then you also saw 3 different snacks that Olivia and I made here in the kitchen to get her ready for her virtual schooling. So if you hear anything in the background, that is literally Olivia doing her virtual schooling right now while I do a Facebook Live, obviously. So today I wanted to show you a super easy and refreshing snack, perfect for kids and adults alike, and also the kids can help you make it. And it is actually some super easy frozen yogurt bites. So you can obviously make frozen yogurt in a ton of different ways, but I wanted to show you this particular way because it's super versatile. You can really increase the nutritional content a lot in it. So let's get to work. Now I'm going to be using some yogurt. Hi Danielle, how are you? So I'm going to be using some yogurt. I had this Activia yogurt. The kids love this one. I love it because it has so many probiotics in it. And I'm just going to use one of these, but obviously you can use whatever kind of yogurt you love. So if you love Greek yogurt, which is really thick and tangy, go ahead and use that. Use whatever you have on hand. So let me set you guys down. And I have a little bowl in front of me, just like this. I'm going to transfer my yogurt into this bowl, and we're going to add something to it to really increase the protein content. So if you are using Greek yogurt, it will already have a really high protein content, which is great. I love that. I honestly believe that when we get more protein into our bodies or into our kids' bodies, it helps our blood sugars to remain stable instead of having like a really high peak and a really big crash when you eat something that has more carbohydrates in it. So protein is really beneficial to help maintain that blood sugar curve, and we feel fuller for longer, which is so great. I've also found that when I give my kids more protein in the morning, like for breakfast, they actually do better in terms of concentrating at school. So just a little tip for you there. So we have my yogurt here in the bowl, and I'm just using a strawberry yogurt. You could use whatever flavor you like. And I'm actually going to add in a scoop of protein powder. So I'm just using a vanilla protein powder. And Danielle, I'm using my vanilla arbonne protein powder. So I'm using 1 scoop, which is about half of a serving. And you could do this same recipe with any kind of yogurt that you have. So I mentioned Greek yogurt earlier, but if you are non-dairy, you could totally do the same thing with whether it be coconut or soy or any of those plant-based yogurts. You could totally do the same thing. And just mixing protein powder in with yogurt is a really great way to create a creamy and delicious but also protein rich dessert. So this could literally just be a dessert right now after you've mixed in all of that yummy protein powder. But we're going to make them into really easy frozen yogurt bites. And we're going to add in a few different condiments or a few different toppings, you could say, to make them really personalized, and honestly use this as like a springboard. You know, really think about what flavors do you love, what things do you have in your fridge or in your pantry to make this recipe your own. Okay, so this is completely mixed in. So I don't know if you can tell very well, but it's completely mixed in, no lumps remaining, super easy and delish. Okay, now the other thing that I have next to me is I have a little tray. So this is just a little mini tray that you normally would put into the oven, but we'll put it into the freezer. And I have these molds. So I just have this Wilton brown, it's actually a brownie silicone pan. And so it has these little squares in it. And we're gonna fill these squares with lots of different yummy ingredients to make our frozen yogurt bites. So you've probably seen some frozen yogurt bark where you just like spread out the yogurt on a tray, such as this gray one, and then you break it up later. But I love the idea of using a little mold so that it's really easy to pop out. It's like a really good serving size for the little ones, and then it's less messy. So we're gonna start off with this, and the first way I'm gonna show you to make these little frozen yogurt bites is with fruit. So I literally just have some blueberries here, which I'm gonna pop in. And they're just fresh blueberries, which are just incredible right now because it's the summertime. They are in season and it's delicious. And I also have some strawberries. So any of the summer berries are going to be so good in this really easy frozen yogurt bite. You could also use some tropical fruit Danielle says she loves this already. Yes, so good, so easy. Plus, it's a great way to utilize lots of the summer fruits that we have right now that are so cheap and delicious. And you know, you always want to use up the things that are in season because they're going to be so high in their nutritional value. Okay, so, before we do that, so we've got my blueberries and my strawberries in here right now. Now, the second way I'm going to show you how to make this is with some granola. So I love homemade granola. I think it tastes so great compared to some of the store-bought brands. But I have just a simple granola here that I actually made on the stovetop. So to find that recipe, definitely go over to the blog, nourishwithrenata.com, and search for granola. This one has oats, pumpkin seeds, pecans, coconut, cinnamon, just lots of all the yummy goodness in there. And all I'm going to do is pour a little bit, probably like a tablespoon, maybe a bit less, of the granola into the little molds. And what that's going to do is create almost like a little crust. So you know how with cheesecake, how it has like the little crust, especially if you make it with like an oatie or like a graham cracker crust, kind of similar to that. The yogurt's gonna stick to it and it will be really delicious and chewy. So that's our second way of making these frozen yogurt bites. And the third way is going to come up in just a minute. So now we need to add the yogurt. So we have our yogurt in our bowl, and all I'm going to do is just top, let me see if you can see this, here we go, is top each of the little compartments with a little bit of our protein yogurt. So I might need a second spoon to do this because it's nice and thick now, but just put a little dollop on top, just like that, and you can spread it out here in a minute. But that's literally how easy this snack is. And once it's frozen, you can pull it out. You can either eat it when it's frozen completely or let it thaw just a little bit more. And that can be really good like for the granola ones because sometimes it can be really tough to bite through it. So yeah, that is the first two ways to make this really easy and delicious frozen yogurt bites. Yum, yum, yum. Let me grab another spoon because I need to spread it out. Okay, so I'm just gonna spread out, and hopefully you can see this okay. Just spreading out the frozen yogurt. And you can obviously add more if you like to make sure it's really covering all of that yummy fruit. So I might add a little bit more to this one with the blueberries. And obviously if you're using different flavored yogurts, like I'm using a strawberry yogurt right now, with strawberries would be delicious, but I think you could use that strawberry yogurt with like cut up mangoes. That would be delicious. I love frozen mangoes, so good, so sweet, and they're also really high in fiber. So that's really good for you as well. Just transferring a little bit more to make it really filled up to the brim, because we want to make sure we're getting all the goodness in these little frozen yogurt bites. And then this is the last one with the granola, and as you can see, it really just pushes down really easily onto the ingredients. It's not difficult to work with at all. I think this would be so fun to do with the kiddos if they weren't doing school right now. Okay, so that is these first 6 delicious looking frozen yogurt bites. And then for our third way of doing these frozen yogurt bites, we are going to add some really delicious flavors. So I happen to love chai spice. If you've never had it before, it's going to be a mixture of like cinnamon, a little bit of cardamom, black pepper. It's going to be really spicy, but really flavorful as well. Not spicy like it's gonna make your tongue get on fire, but it's gonna be delish. Danielle asked, have you ever made these in a cake style pan and can cut them out? I have not made them in a cake style pan, but I have made it like if you just spread them out, spread the yogurt out onto just like a tray, like this gray one that I have here, just the tray by itself, and maybe with a little parchment paper. Hey Roberta, hey Jamie. Okay, so once you spread out the yogurt into like a flat layer on some parchment paper on a tray, then you could put the fruit on top of it and then put that into the freezer. So once that's completely frozen, then you can break it up into pieces, and that would be another way of doing it. So I'm going to take the remainder of my strawberry yogurt mixed with my protein powder, and I'm going to put in a little bit of this chai spice mix, which you can buy at the store or you can literally make your own. This is one that I made myself. And I'm adding in about half a teaspoon based upon what I have left over. But if you want to do a whole batch of this, definitely add as much as you like because this is delish. So I'm adding that in. I'm going to mix, mix, mix. It's going to be so good. I love adding like a really spicy flavor to something that's sweet. I think it keeps your taste buds guessing and it's so, so good. Yum, yum, yum. Okay, so that's mixed in. Now, yes, exactly. So reverse it with the yogurt on the bottom. If you don't have a little silicone mold like this, that would be a great way to do it. So I've added my spice in, and then what I want to add is a couple of other ingredients to make it really yum. I'm going to add in a little bit of coconut flakes. So I'm adding about a teaspoon of coconut flakes in there. I'm also going to add in some pecans because I love the idea of having the crunch from the pecans in here with the creaminess of the yogurt and then a little bit of that chew from the coconut. So let me add in about a tablespoon of pecans. Yum. And then to really take the nutritional level over the top, I'm going to add in some hemp hearts. So what I love about hemp hearts is that they have both omega-3s and omega-6s. Which is so good for you. These are healthy fats that your body needs. So the body doesn't create them. We have to make sure we eat them in our diet, which is why, you know, they always talk about making sure you get lots of yummy salmon as an example of omega-3s into your body. So look, I've mixed everything together. And all we're gonna do is transfer it into this mold to create some really spicy and chewy and delicious frozen yogurt bites. These, oops, cheers. These might be a little bit more for the adults if you think that the kids won't like that particular flavor. But honestly, let them try it. This is one of the things that I always encourage is like, ask your kids to try things. It's really not like, it's not a big deal unless we make it a big deal, right? So I always encourage the try, as I mentioned before. I think that when we do that, we really show kids it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to try things that you've never tried before. And even if you don't like it, you tried it. That's a big, like, that's the big deal, is making sure that you try things out, showing your kids that you're doing, you know, lots of things to push yourself out of your comfort zone. And you never know, you might end up liking something that you never expected you would. So that's why I love cooking, because I think that it's a really tangible way to show kids how you can try new things. So that's my mindset piece for today's cooking show. I hope you enjoyed it. So all I'm doing is I'm just spreading out the frozen yogurt and all of those delicious spices that we put in there into my little molds, just like that. Oh wait, you can't see it. Here we go. There we go. Now you can. This is a little messy, but messy does not mean bad, right? Okay, so I've got that in there. It looks so good, and I actually made some earlier on the other side of this pan. Pretty cool, right? So let me see if I can turn them out so you can kind of see what we're talking about. Oh yeah, so these were strawberries, and I have a peach yogurt on the bottom. Oh my gosh, it smells amazing. Oh, okay, I'm gonna try some. Yum. Mmm. Oh. Mmm. So good. Oh my gosh. Okay. It's so good, you guys. It's cold and refreshing. Sorry, I have to talk with my mouth full. Cold and refreshing, but it's so good. I love the peach yogurt. Sorry. I have food in my mouth. The peach yogurt is so like refreshing and summery, and the strawberries have like this burst of sweetness and a little bit of tartness, which is so good. Okay. So I'm going to be eating that as a snack. I think this would be so good after school, after the kids have been playing outside. Oh, it's going to be so great. And you know they're getting a nice, healthy, and delicious snack that you guys can make together. You can have them in your freezer, store them for a while. After they've frozen in the pan, if you use one like this, then just transfer them to an airtight container. Oh, and I missed the time we keep them in. I got cut off for a second. The time we keep them in. Okay, I'm not sure what that means. Let me try to guess. Okay, So after you put them into the mold, then you'll freeze them. And usually that will take at least a couple of hours, maybe even overnight would be a good way to do it to make sure it's really firmly set. And then you can enjoy it completely from the frozen state or let them thaw a little bit at room temperature. You can also take them out of the mold and then put them in an airtight container to store in the freezer as well. So I hope that answered your question, Danielle. If not, let me know. More than happy to answer it. But that is your frozen yogurt, 3 frozen yogurt bites, 3 ways. Oh, Danielle. Keep them in until they are frozen. Yes, that's it. So 3 ways you have with your fruit. Blueberries and strawberries are what I use, but definitely try it with other fruit like peaches or mangoes or anything like that. That would be delicious. You have it with granola, which will give you a nice chew. Yum. And the last way is adding spices to it. So I added the chai spices with coconut and pecans. So good. I'm definitely going to post a picture once they're completely frozen so you can see what they look like. But that is it, guys. So easy, so delicious, and literally something you can make and have on hand in the freezer anytime it's super hot out like it is right now and you need a refreshing and healthy treat. So I hope that you enjoyed it. Next week, we're going to be talking all about lunches that you can meal prep for the kids and for you to make sure that this back to school season is the easiest one yet, because we're all doing some kind of online learning. And if there's one thing that we can make easier, it's definitely the food. So I hope you'll join me next week. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to let me know. And I hope that you're having an amazing day. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.